All right, let's jump right in. Today we're tackling a really fundamental question that every single researcher has to face. How do you study time? I mean, do you capture just one single revealing moment, or do you sit back and watch the whole story unfold over years?
Think about it for a second. Are you trying to understand how things are right this very second? Or are you trying to figure out how things change? This one question, this simple choice, actually shapes the entire design of a research project from top to bottom.
So to make this super simple, we're going to use a metaphor that'll stick with you. Think of it as a snapshot versus a movie. A snapshot, right, it freezes one specific point in time. A movie, on the other hand, records all the action over a much longer period. This simple idea is really the key to understanding everything we're going to talk about today.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the snapshot, then we'll dive into the movie and all its different genres. We'll also check out some other cool ways researchers see time, and then we'll wrap it all up by figuring out how you choose the right lens for the job. Let's get into it.
First up, the snapshot. Now, in the world of research, this has a formal name, a cross-sectional study. And it's all about what's happening right here, right now.
You know, it's kind of like taking a big group photo at a wedding. You get everyone together, you capture that exact moment in time, and that's it. That's your picture. A cross-sectional study does pretty much the same thing. It gathers data from a bunch of different people at one specific point to get a snapshot of what's going on.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, imagine we want to know if social work students get more professional as they move through their degree program. Using our snapshot approach, we'd survey students from the first year, second year, third year, and fourth year classes, all at the same time. Say we do it all in the first week of October. Then we just compare the answers across those 4 different groups.
Now here's the trade-off, and it's a big one. The strength of the snapshot is that it's fast and usually a lot cheaper. But its weakness, oh, it's a doozy. Let's say we find that the seniors in our study are more professional. We can't actually prove it was the program that made them that way. Maybe they were just a more professional group to begin with. See, a single photo can show you that 2 things are connected, but it really struggles to prove that one thing caused the other.
And that weakness is exactly why we have the movie approach. In research, these are called longitudinal studies. Because if you really want to see change, well, you've got to let the camera roll for a while.
Okay, let's go back to our social work students and apply the movie approach to the same question. Instead of surveying all 4 classes at once, we'd pick one group, let's say the class of 2029, and we would survey them every single year until they graduate. Now that is the crucial difference. We're not comparing different people anymore. We are tracking the very same people as they change over time.
So when do you absolutely need to film a movie? Well, you need one when you're studying a process that unfolds over time, like how a child learns to read. It's also critical when the order of events really matters. For instance, did a major health diagnosis happen before or after the onset of depression? A movie can tell you that. It's just the best way to make clear comparisons over time and give your findings a lot more weight.
Now, just like in Hollywood, not all movies are the same, right? There are different genres, each with its own way of telling a story. Let's take a quick look at a few of the big ones.
You might hear these movie-style studies called follow-up or tracer studies, which makes perfect sense because you're literally tracing people over time. The 3 main flavors are panel, cohort, and trend. A panel study is the purest movie. You follow the exact same individuals the whole time. A cohort study follows a group that shares an experience, like everyone born in 1990, but you might survey different people from that group each time. And a trend study looks at a general population, like all voters, to see how opinions are shifting by sampling different people at different times.
So the real gut check difference between a panel study and a cohort study comes down to one question: who is being studied? A panel study is like watching the same actors through an entire movie franchise. You are locked in on the exact same people. A cohort study is more like a documentary about a specific generation, say Gen Z. The focus is on that group's shared experience, not necessarily on tracking every single individual from beginning to end.
So beyond the big, broad categories of snapshot and movie, researchers have some other really specialized tools for looking at time. Let's check out a couple of them.
First up is the case study. This is all about going deep instead of wide. A researcher might literally immerse themselves for years studying just one single person, or one company, or one event. They'll collect a ton of different kinds of data, interviews, documents, just observing, all to build this incredibly detailed, holistic picture. Then we have something called narrative analysis, which focuses on the actual stories people tell to make sense of their lives.
And this is so powerful. For example, by analyzing the stories of homeless people trying to get healthcare, researchers uncovered these profound feelings of being disrespected and embarrassed. This isn't just data. It's about understanding the raw human experience through their own words.
And finally, there is historical research. This is basically being a detective of the past. Researchers systematically hunt down and analyze data from things like old diaries, letters, medical records, photos, newspaper clippings, all to piece together what happened, how it happened, and most importantly, why.
So, we've looked at snapshots, movies, deep dives, and hysterical detective work. So, which one's the best? Well, that brings us to our final and definitely most important point.
The critical takeaway is this. There is no single best method. It doesn't exist. The method you choose, the lens you look through, depends entirely on the question you're trying to answer. If you want to know what the unemployment rate is today, you need a snapshot. If you want to know how a new policy affects employment over 5 years, you need a movie. The question always comes first.
So I'll leave you with this little thought experiment. Think about some kind of change that's happening right now in your own community. To really truly understand what's going on, would you need to take a snapshot to see the current state of things? Or would you need to roll the camera and make a movie to see how the whole story is unfolding?
Hey, thanks for digging into all this with us. Next time, we are tackling a topic that is threaded through every single thing we just talked about, the complex and absolutely crucial world of ethics in social research. You are not going to want to miss that one. We'll see you then.